You're tuned in to the It's Real podcast with your hosts, Kayla Calendar and Andrew Yagi. Each week, we'll talk about what happens behind the scenes working full-time in real estate and share with you real-life stories, our successes and failures as we work to help consumers and industry professionals reach their real estate and real-life goals. Here we go. It's episode 5 of the It's Real podcast. I'm Andrew Yagi, and I'm a real estate agent.
Hello, I'm Kayla Calendar, and I'm a mortgage lender.
Kayla, how's it going this week?
Andy, it's going wonderfully well. It's the week's kind of getting to be a little bit more snowier than we thought. So as we approach this thing called daylight saving, and it's saving, not savings. Google it. As we approach that,
I'm out. Because remember, this is next week's episode, so daylight saving. So, okay, I'm gonna, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna just start the intro over again. And so,
okay. So, can I say anything about daylight saving?
Well, we'll be in daylight savings time. I mean, we sprung ahead, because now hypothetically, it's next week already.
So, can I say daylight saving has hit? And we're starting to see that snow thaw, which means we're starting to see more people come out and about searching for homes.
Sure.
What are you going to say?
What am I going to say? I'm going to say, I don't know. Good question. It's going to be spontaneous. So, okay, I'm going to just
spontaneous. Look what happened.
You just have to be in the mindset that it's not of when this episode's airing.
Can I talk about LA?
Sure.
I don't know. I'll figure it out.
Okay, I'm going to hit the intro again, and then we'll just edit this. So, you're tuned into the It's Real podcast with your hosts, Kayla Calendar and Andrew Yagi. Each week, we'll talk about what happens behind the scenes working full-time in real estate and share with you real-life stories, our successes and failures as we work to help consumers and industry professionals reach their real estate and real-life goals. Here we go. Episode 5 of the It's Real podcast. Hello, I'm Andrew Yagi, and I'm a real estate agent.
Hello, I'm Kayla Calendar, and I'm a mortgage lender.
Kayla, new week, new opportunities, and daylight savings time.
Daylight saving, yes. We are springing ahead. We are starting to see the snow kind of melt away. And it's amazing what just a little bit of a temperature increase does to people that are wanting to look at homes. It's like they can't go look at homes when it's snowing, but the moment it gets a little warmer, they come out of the woodworks. Do you see the same thing?
I do, although I would argue that it's still pretty cold, and I don't know that's outside of your window, but still a lot of snow and, kind of a little bit of a chilly week, maybe some wintry mix. But I think it's forecast, March is going to be kind of a little more wet and snowy. In fact, I was talking to one of my friends who's kind of in the lake dock and lift business the other day, and he said, they were running a promotion where, hey, if you can guess on your lake what day the ice is going to be off, you can win $100. And so I asked him kind of for his prediction on, lakes in general. And he's like, I think it's probably going to be May 1st. I think it's going to be a little bit late potentially, but I guess it's what it is.
Time will tell, but that's a fun little guesstimate there.
I think so. I said, ultimately, I'm probably going to have to go and talk to our year-round neighbors who probably realistically track these things every year, and they'd be able to make a good guess. But I said, probably, someone asked me the other day if I had, my March Madness bracket ready to go. And I said, I honestly don't watch professional sports, but I probably would have, as good of a chance as anyone at putting together a winning bracket.
Honestly, you could, and you're too busy with other things. You're too busy flying, and you don't have time to do those brackets.
Absolutely. I'd much rather be in the air or, talking to someone about aviation. But Kayla, what's going on with you this week? Or do you have anything fun coming up?
I've actually had some things called closings, which a lot of people haven't had lately because of, well, let's admit, the market slowed down. So I've had 4 closings in the last week, and it's so fun to get back in front of people, to give them their keys, to have them sign on the dotted line and truly make their dreams come true. So I've been pretty busy with closings, but also with new apps still. I'm still seeing these come flowing in. I think that as people start to see that it's not that they've become numb to rates, but they've become more acceptable of where they're at. They've had the conversations, they're talking to their friends, their family, they're reading online. This is more of the norm. And I think people are finally taking that leap. And so the fun thing that I have are closings because people had gone through that process earlier. So now I'm seeing the activity again, and people are getting excited still. So
Yeah, I think you're right, and I'm starting to see more inventory coming on. I had a closing last week, and have some additional upcoming this month. I was talking to a pretty experienced agent the other day, and he was telling me, he said, "Boy, the market's been pretty brutal, not only for him, but for some of his clients, his buyers specifically, getting beat out on a lot of offers." And he said, "Man, I've done real estate a long time and have only had about four closings in as many months." And so I think, I know I'm seeing a lot of agents that are leaving or going on, to do something
yeah,
else and saying, "Hey, I can't weather this storm." But, for those that can, I'm starting to have a lot more conversations. I set, two new listings, today that I know I'm going to be putting up down the road. So inventory is coming. Um, but Kayla, I think one thing we should talk about today is, what if you as a buyer, you're looking and maybe that right property isn't out there. Just the other day, I had, just yesterday, in fact, had a couple in my office visiting, and they're looking to sell. They have a property they want to sell. They want to downsize, but they're just not seeing anything that they're liking. Kayla, I've sent out in a couple of specific areas, letters to some specific homeowners, some developments that they like, and said, "Hey, I have a very serious client that would like to buy." I've tried to follow up and make phone calls. Haven't gotten any traction yet, but now these individuals, they're in and they're starting to talk about something called new construction.
yeah.
Are you seeing many people that are coming to you and starting to have conversations about looking at something new?
All the time, regardless of the market. I think that a lot of people have this thought of, well, I can't afford new construction, first and foremost. But I have a lot of even first time home buyers that their first home is new construction because there are so many different customizable options for you. So, what we're seeing, Andy, in this market is that in this market, inventory is not as high as it nearly was probably even, let's just say, a year ago. So, we have people ready to buy, we have people ready to take that leap, but they can't find the home.
Hmm.
What we're seeing are people saying, "Well, what does new construction look like for me? How much would that cost? What's involved?" And so I'm seeing a lot more conversation. Are you also seeing that?
Yeah, we're having it a lot more often with people at least exploring options. One of the difficult pieces in my more immediate market is just the fact that there aren't a lot of buildable lots within,
Yeah,
my more immediate city. And so that's one bottleneck that we're working on addressing is, how do we solve this?
yeah.
Because our housing stock's getting older. But obviously in the Fargo Moorhead area where you're at, there people are building like crazy, and there are a lot of great options, and even with
Mhm.
the number of builders you have, some really attractive price points as well.
We do. And I think what's really cool is just depending where you're at in your budget, you still, if this is your first home or your 20th home, the cool part about new construction is that you get to control the location. So if you found a neighborhood with a lot and you really want to live there, you get to choose your location, then you get to customize what's on that dirt.
Mhm.
So clients are saying, "You know what? I don't have to deal with competition when I'm writing an offer. I get to control what I want, the colors, the layout, the location." Yeah, what comes with that is usually a little bit higher price tag depending on your customization. But we're also seeing warranties given, sometimes a year, sometimes two, lower insurance because homes are brand new.
Mhm.
And the fact is one really cool thing that a lot of people don't know is some lenders will allow you to lock in your rate for a long term. And what's even more attractive is that once you lock in, some lenders allow you to float down within a certain time frame if rates get better. So we're seeing clients having the best of both worlds. They get to pick and choose in their price range, and then they get the ability to have lower insurance and a rate that could be customizable as well.
Very cool.
Mhm.
And how, I mean, are you having more and more of these conversations with people about some of these products as they're kind of looking for options?
Yes, actually, just today I had a meeting with a builder and a brokerage because their clients are a little frustrated with the inventory. So,
Mhm.
realtors are doing their due diligence to say, what is out there for my client then? If existing homes are not, then what is? And so we're seeing builders have incentives. We're seeing builders, some of them are giving incentives so clients can use what you probably heard many times over and over is for a 2-1 buy down where the seller or builder can cover a reduced interest rate for the client for the first few years. So they're giving incentives and promotions. So it's kind of a win-win right now that we're seeing in our market is you've got clients and realtors that are truly trying to find a solution, and
Mhm.
builders who are saying, we've got lots, we've got homes, we've got the tools. How can we make this blend and meld together? And we're seeing a lot of people building.
Sure. No,
Mhm.
fantastic. That's
Mhm.
it's really great to talk about and to highlight some of those different options because there are probably people that are watching this or listening today that, they are kind of at their wits' end, but they really haven't considered, new construction. And, even, I'm seeing kind of more in the region here, some pretty affordable options, kind of in the upper 200,000s. Even in one of my communities I've seen, where the county or the HRA's gotten involved, and I mean they're building homes, for 225 to
Yeah.
$240,000. And there are some stipulations with some of the home products out there, based on income and the like. But really, people kind of, looking for alternative ways to
Mhm.
get buyers into, more affordable housing and something that fits them as well.
Well, I can say that if building is even an idea that you have, or if you're struggling as a client or realtor with finding your customer what they want, have a conversation with some local builders and just have something priced out. Go look at lots, go check it out. You never know what you may discover. And also, right now, I'm doing a lot of lot financing. So we have people that are thinking ahead that maybe I don't want to build for another year, but I want to make sure that I build in the location because we hear it all the time, location, location, location. I want to build on that location. So even though I'm not ready today, I'm going to go secure that lot. So when I am ready to pull the trigger, I know I won't have competition when it comes to that area.
Sure.
Mhm.
Well, that's a lot of great information, Kayla. Especially on new construction, and lots are an excellent topic. I think we'll dive into maybe on another episode.
You
But
will.
are there any final thoughts or any tips you have for someone if they're listening today and thinking, man, I really need to dive in and start
Mhm.
exploring new construction?
I would say start with your lender, find out what you're approved for, what your budget is, and then go and have some conversations with a handful of builders. Go check out their models. There's a lot of like Parade of Homes is coming up. A lot of them have opens throughout the week and on weekends. Go and check out and see what you like. Have those conversations, and then see if they can price out a home that you love within your budget, and just pretty much go from there. See if you want to do it.
Sure, fantastic. And I would say for those of you who are maybe in a more rural area that you don't have a glut of home builders that are building and have all of the different models, reach out to an agent, of your choosing who probably is connected or who has worked with builders or developers, or ultimately in one of your local home centers or lumber yards to kind of just start talking and looking at ideas and kind of make connections with a
Mhm.
builder to start the process. So.
Mhm.
Well, Kayla, it's been great connecting as always.
As always.
Have a great week.
I will if you will.